I'm Amanda, and I've thought about putting this together for quite a long time, and I guess now's the right moment. Um, if you're on this channel, then you're either a travel nurse, you're thinking about traveling, or just interested in more information about it. I can absolutely say, for me at least, it was the best decision I've ever made. And I traveled forever ago. Let's see, I've been a nurse for almost 25 years. And I traveled forever ago, before I got married, before I had kids, and loved it. I was young, I was single, it was a chance to see lots of different places, and happened to meet my husband as I was traveling. That's another story. Great story. But fast forward, I had worked in ICU forever. That's what I thought I always wanted to do, was very happy in the trauma setting, the fast pace, that's what I wanted. And then we get to 2020 and COVID hits. So at that time I was working in a CVICU and elective surgeries were canceled. Nobody really knew what was going on. We all remember how that went. And at first, like a lot of people, I was scared of it too. I didn't want any parts of being sent to this secret little COVID area that you've kind of heard about from other people that existed in the hospital, but it was very early. This was like early mid-March, and I was scared. Just like everybody else, didn't know what was going on with it, what we were looking at. I have autoimmune issues myself. I've had heart trouble, and I was scared. So things just moved so quickly during that time, and everything's shutting down. Schools are closing. My daughter that's away in college is coming home from college because that shut down, and our whole world is changing right before our eyes. And elective surgeries are canceled, like I said, so I'm getting canceled from work a lot, sitting at home, watching TV, and hearing about New York City and the devastation. And the more I listened, the more I felt like I had to go. And gave it some thought, and would go to the grocery store, and people were, oh, you're a nurse, you're a hero. And all I'm thinking is, actually, no, I'm sitting on my couch. And that started bothering me. So I finally told my husband, I think maybe I need to go there. And this was a long talk that we had. Both of us were obviously scared at the idea, but he was so wonderfully supportive. He said, I'm certainly not going to tell you to go and send you into that, but I'm not going to tell you not to go if this is something you feel like you need to do, which I appreciated so much. And I was also scared because, like I said, I had one child that was in her second year of college. I had two more that were in middle school and in high school, and here I am thinking about leaving and going into the unknown. Don't know if I'm going to come back or not. How are my kids going to think about this? So many questions, and they were so supportive. My kids were amazing. My husband was amazing in that we are behind you in going and doing this. So, and it was crazy just how quickly it all came together. It's a matter of, like you saw on TV, they are desperate for nurses up there. So I start calling on a weekend, thinking nobody's going to be there, nobody's going to answer the phone, it's the weekend. They answered, and everybody answered, and how quickly can you get here? And I went from very quickly, let me think about this, maybe I should go, to plane ticket in my hand, husband's driving me to the airport on empty roads in an empty airport, and I'm headed off to New York City. Never been to New York. At that time, I had never used an Uber. I had never ordered food online. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. So before I'm leaving, my daughter's like trying to show me how to upload this app, how to do this, how to do that, because I'm the old lady that doesn't know how to do this stuff. And I'm landing in New York City. And I can tell you, at least for me, it was the best decision I ever made. It was the most humbling decision I've ever made. I met some of the most amazing people there, doctors, nurses. We were there from all over the country. Everybody there to help, everybody scared, everybody not knowing what we're dealing with. but all there together. And we will probably never, ever see again in our lifetime, at least, the collaboration. I don't know about other people, and maybe you can comment about experiences you had at your hospital, but at least I was in the Bronx, and a hospital there. The experience there, I was in a surge COVID area they made off of the ER, and it was basically like a MASH unit. It seemed like they put up some walls, put up some curtains and some folding tables, and there's your ICU. And it was full, and it was everything you saw on TV and more. It was the most exhilarating, horrifying, and rewarding experience I have ever had. We have never seen that type of collaboration, and we'll probably never see it again. We're all there with a common goal. We're all just desperate to try to save. And unfortunately, that was a very small number that we managed to save. But even with that, it was the most rewarding experience I have ever had. And I can't say that enough. And I'm sure any of you that are watching that were there with me in that particular hospital, please comment, because we had such a great team. It was amazing. New York, everybody kind of hears the bad, oh, be careful talking on the streets, watch where you go, New York's such a dangerous place. The people there were amazing. That city was so appreciative and so thankful for all of us being there. I can't tell you what it felt like to be walking. We would leave the hospital in the evening and take the subway back to the hotels we were staying at. And initially we were all staying at whatever we could find. And then the city graciously helped us with hotel rooms. The city, and I think City Card was in on it too, helped us with bike transportation. There was a reduction in every type of cost you could imagine. They were just thankful for us being there and helping us in any way they could, and we appreciated it, and thank you to New York. But we would leave the hospital and go, like as a group, to the subway and ride the subway back together to whatever stop we had for our hotels. And the few people that you would see on the streets or that would drive by you, we had people stop their cars, roll down their windows, seeing us in scrubs, and thank us for coming to help them. And that was just so humbling. And the other thing I want to touch on as far as New York goes, the people. The other nurses, doctors, other providers, respiratory therapists, everybody that was there, I made the most amazing friends. People I'm still in contact with, people I consider my best friends. I've traveled to other places with some of them, met up in different destinations, keep in contact, keep each other updated on what's going on in our lives, and I've never met such great people. So anyway, in that regard, New York City, COVID, while I think so many of us have trauma from the experience, and I'll be the first to say that a commercial comes on TV or some TV show that shows reenactments of COVID, and you're in tears because what we went through was so draining, was so heartbreaking. To sit at somebody's bedside and know there was absolutely nothing you could do to help them, and you just sit down and hold their hand because their family can't be there. I'm gonna cry now. Their family can't be there. You're on an iPad trying to explain to them that it's time to say goodbye, and it still chokes me up, obviously, but for all the tears I've shed over it and the nightmares you have about it, and remembering the freezer trucks and the code after code and death after death, it still shaped me and changed me so much in the things that I learned, new things that I saw, people that I met. Thank you, New York. I guess we'll wrap that up because I'm going to go cry now.